I know I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm switching up the layout. Remove this guy all the way to here. That way I can bring both of these over, lay them out just like that. That'll give me room over here for the passive crossovers, and I think I'm gonna like that a lot better. It's cuter. Yes, I see you. Okay, so this is what I came up with. 1 amp, 2 amp, and then just the other part to hold it in place. And then I'm gonna see what I can do with the passive crossovers. Alright, got it cut out. Now we're gonna see about putting the bends in it. All this floppiness there. Okay, got it landing pretty good. I'm just gonna have to open up these holes a little bit more to line them up just right. But that ain't bad. Alright, got it mounted. And it still's got plenty of cooling on the back. A little bit of sound deadening, just in case of rattles. Looks good. Get it mounted up in the Tahoe and see how it looks. Alright, they're bolted in. Probably still gonna have to come out another time I'm gonna drill some holes for I think the grounds, possibly the powers as well. But I think I'll be able to get to all the controls pretty easily, and the power and speaker on this guy. Pretty solid. Okay, so we got this SMD 3-spot fuse holder, and I'm gonna go over here, I think, right here to connect to this second battery, and I think I was gonna put this over there with it, but I didn't like the packaging, so I'm thinking either here, but I don't know if the plastic's strong enough, so I'm probably gonna go here, right there. It's gonna look factory. Alright, so I used some of the pre-made stuff from Down for Sound that I had laying around. Gonna use this one to the alternator. That one's gonna come in power. Well, charge the battery. And I went ahead, I got this sky high stuff and made the main lead to the battery from the fuse block. See how that works out. Maybe I'll put some wire loom on it. So I removed the amp rack and I marked where my holes are going to go, and I got these compression fittings, Amazon special. Should do the trick. Got the old door speakers out, originals, super wasted. You got the new Savard components. Should sound much nicer. Alright, so I decided I was just going to mount the passive in the door, simplify it a little bit. So, woofer wired, tweeter wired. I mounted it to the factory. Little tweeter mount here, worked out pretty good. And just screwed this guy into the door and went ahead and painted the grill and popped that back on and wrap up this driver's door panel. Alright, one door is back together. Hiding in there, looks pretty clean. On to the next. Got this stock tweeter broken apart. Nice voice coil there. This is trash. Now I'm gonna get this diaphragm out of there and drill it with the hole saw for the new tweeter. New tweeter installed. Looks fancy. Onto the mid. Speaker wire ran up to here. One of the hardest parts is getting through this sucker here. It's got these clips top and bottom. You can pop those out. And then usually I'll run a harder, stiffer wire in there and fish this wire through. Or sometimes you can just get it to go, depending on how many wires are already in there. Alright, so it's all together. Just gonna wire in the power for the passive crossover. Pop this sucker back on. Rear door panel off. So on this one I could actually fit this guy directly in here. That's gonna be nice, kind of. Went ahead and popped the tweeter in there. I'm gonna mount the passive crossover behind right here. Okay. Passive mounted. The woofer mounted. I got the wire coming back from the amp here, and then the wire from the woofer here. I'll tie them in, and then I'll be ready to pop this back together. Alright, I'm on the last door panel. Tweeter is mounted in its place, getting ready to mount this guy on here like I did the other one. Only thing sucks about mounting these inside the door is that there's no access for this attenuation switch here. Usually don't need that. I like to just leave it at 0. Sometimes if the tweeter's kind of far away, you can pump it up a little. Usually you don't need to take it down, but you can always adjust that with the crossover ahead of this. Alright. Last door going back together. Okay, last door back together. Now I'm gonna go ahead and run these RCAs. Got this sky high, 20 feet, maybe a little too long, but I'd rather be long than short. So I made this little guy for that little guy, and it goes like this. Bolts in right there. Alright, I got one of the last pieces to the puzzle sitting in here. I'm just going to figure out how I'm going to bolt it to the floor and wire it into this. Alright, so I'll cut this piece of steel here, and I'm going to weld some studs to the bottom of it, bolt them through these existing holes. Then this will screw to the bottom of that, and we'll just slide the whole thing in, bolt it from the bottom, and it'll be locked into place. Don't worry about it in the event of an accident, it coming forward and fucking anyone up. I don't like boxes just floating around in the back of the car. That's just not how I roll. Alright, so I'm running this 8-gauge direct leads. I just silicone them through so they don't leak to hit the sub. and then, you know, I'll just jump the coils per usual. I got the plate made there to bolt it to the floor. Step at a time. Camera's mounted, but alright. Okay, got this screwed into the bottom, about to bolt it in. Got these in and glued. Got a hopscotch. Alright, mounted in. Super solid. I like it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and slide the sub in and get the wiring going around, and yeah. So I got the isolator solenoid and the relay to drive it hooked up yesterday. Fuses are in, batteries hooked up. I got the ground down there. It's taped off at the moment. It's the paint around it. Got out the DD1. I'm gonna set the gains. Then I'll get out the CC1 and set the frequencies. And then we'll be ready to plug these guys in and get this guy turned on. See how it plays. Deck is nestled in there. See if that works out. Alright, everything's back in and playing. Amps are hidden in their home. Dogs still have all their room. We played it pretty hard when I got here, slightly warm. Sounds pretty good. I'll let her break in. Alright, so she's up and playing. Voltage is decent. Been playing it for a couple weeks. Sounds pretty good.